In the realm of mass-produced industrial timepieces, Rolex stands head and shoulders above the rest as the epitome of unrivaled quality. In fact, some may argue that Rolex watches are not just the best among their peers, but hold the distinction of being the finest mass-produced items on the market. When we say mass-produced, we refer to the brand's annual production volume, which typically remains below 1 million watches in the case of Rolex timepieces. This deliberate limitation ensures that each Rolex watch receives the utmost attention to detail, resulting in impeccable craftsmanship and an unmistakable sense of luxury. However, one question often arises: are you old enough to buy a Rolex? We'll answer that in a minute, but should that even be the question in the first place? We already know that unlike age restrictions for certain activities such as driving or drinking alcohol, there is no specific legal age requirement to purchase a Rolex or any other luxury watch. Rolex watches are sold in authorized dealerships and boutiques worldwide, and the age at which you can buy one largely depends on the store's policies and your ability to afford it. For instance, the typical person who purchased a Rolex in the 1950s or 1990s was not at all like the typical customer of today. To understand how successfully Rolex resonated with its target demographic, you must look at some of the company's early advertisements. For example, "Men who guide the destinies of the world wear Rolex watches" is one of the most well-known advertisements for Rolex during that time. The typical image that comes to mind of a man who wears a Rolex is that of an older gentleman, perhaps in the age range of 45 to 65 years old. Examples of this category are people who have accomplished great things and are held in high esteem, such as former heads of state or the current president. But hey, since we are not talking about low-cost timepieces, the Rolex brand has become synonymous with success. And secondly, many people think of Rolex as being synonymous with success because of the highly acclaimed brand name that the firm has established and its long history of success. To put it another way, if you are successful, you will wear a Rolex. The Rolex brand has cultivated that special relationship over the course of several decades. This makes perfect sense when one considers that achieving success at a younger age is more challenging and that the odds of someone in their 60s achieving success are far higher than someone in their 20s. This is not an entirely irrational assumption either. So listen. According to the findings of the study by Home Protect, directors and managers are likelier to be proud owners of Rolex watches. According to the findings of their investigation, 7.2% of Rolex owners served on the board of directors, with managing directors coming in a close second. In addition, about 20% of Rolex owners also held positions as managers or directors in the company. Given that most individuals do not have thousands of dollars to purchase a Rolex, the notion that you have achieved at least some level of success if you can purchase a Rolex makes sense. Let's be straightforward about this. Even if it's true that possessing a Rolex can make you feel a sense of pride and contentment, it's also true that we don't need a luxury timepiece to lead a happy and comfortable life. If all you need from a watch is the ability to tell time, you could spend only $10 on a low-quality Casio model. On the other hand, a Rolex is much more than just a watch. However, in today's world, it is impossible to deny that Rolex watches are trendy among those in their 20s and 30s. In particular, when considering the number of Rolex displays on various social media platforms. A few decades ago, very few younger people in their 20s and 30s would wear Rolex watches, but these days we can more frequently see younger people wearing them. So, are you old enough to buy a Rolex? Can you buy one now? Your financial situation is the primary factor determining whether you can buy a Rolex. These watches are known for their high price tags and cater to the luxury market. Rolex timepieces can range from several $1,000s to hundreds of thousands, depending on the model, materials, and complications involved. Therefore, being old enough to afford a Rolex may have more significance than reaching a certain age. Rolex and its competitors target customers who have achieved a certain level of success in their careers or businesses. It is not uncommon for individuals to aspire to purchase a Rolex as a reward for their hard work or to commemorate a significant milestone in their lives. Whether it's a promotion, graduation, or personal achievement, buying a Rolex often represents a milestone beyond age alone. Now, while the financial aspect is crucial, there is also an emotional connection associated with owning a Rolex. These watches are crafted with meticulous attention to detail, combining precision engineering with timeless design. Rolex has established itself as a brand that represents excellence and durability. The ownership of a Rolex watch can carry sentimental value and signify the accomplishment of personal goals. Rolex watches have been worn by influential individuals throughout history, including politicians, actors, athletes, CEOs, and even astronauts. This rich heritage adds to the allure of owning a Rolex and contributes to its iconic status. As such, it is not surprising that many people feel a sense of pride and fulfillment when they require a Rolex, regardless of their age. Anyway, there is also the role of authorized dealerships to consider. While Rolex does not impose age restrictions on its customers, authorized dealerships may have their policies. Some dealerships require potential buyers to be of a certain age, typically in line with the legal adult age in their respective country. These policies ensure that customers make informed and responsible decisions when investing in a luxury timepiece. Additionally, dealerships may prioritize serving clients who are genuinely interested in the brand and will contribute to its legacy. Again, the allure of a Rolex watch is undeniable. It embodies prestige, craftsmanship, and timeless elegance that captivates watch enthusiasts worldwide. But have you ever wondered who the typical Rolex buyer is? Pinpointing the average age of Rolex owners proves to be a challenging task. Limited studies on the subject make it difficult to provide a definitive answer. However, one thing is sure: Rolex watches are built to withstand the test of time. These timepieces can be passed down for generations with proper care, becoming cherished family heirlooms. Therefore, it's understandable that older individuals tend to be overrepresented in the statistics of Rolex owners. After all, once you own a Rolex, it often becomes a lifelong companion. Contrary to popular belief among watch collectors, most people only buy a single Rolex watch in their lifetime rather than amassing a collection of 10 or more. This further contributes to the age bias in ownership statistics, as the longevity of Rolex watches means they are more likely to be held by older generations. However, if we shift our focus to the average age of Rolex buyers, the landscape begins to change. In recent years, there has been a noticeable decline in the average age of those purchasing Rolex watches. This shift reflects a changing trend and an evolving market. A study by Home Protect, an insurance firm, delved into the demographics of Rolex ownership in the UK. The findings revealed that the average age of a Rolex owner in the country is 68 years old. Furthermore, the study highlighted a significant gender disparity, with male Rolex owners outnumbering women by nearly 2 to 1. The research indicated that 66% of Rolex owners were over the age of 65, while only a mere 1.5% were under the age of 35. While this study focused specifically on the UK, it is reasonable to assume that similar patterns would also emerge in other countries. However, it is essential to consider the nature of Rolex ownership. As previously mentioned, most people only acquire one Rolex watch in their lifetime. This means that the statistics can undergo rapid transformations as the age of new Rolex buyers declines. It is worth noting that the study solely examined Rolex owners, not specifically those who recently purchased a Rolex. So, who really buys Rolex watches? The answer is not so straightforward. While the statistics suggest an overrepresentation of older individuals among Rolex owners, the changing trends in the market indicate a shift toward a younger demographic. A new generation of watch enthusiasts is challenging the age-old notion of Rolex being exclusively for the senior elite. Ultimately, the decision to buy a Rolex transcends age.